Hi there. Okay, after a lot of contemplation, I have made a plan, and the plan revolves around the fact that, let me double check what we see and what we don't see. Yeah, that should be right in the middle of the picture, is it? Yes, it is. Okay, so the main question I was asking myself, since there is a thread for a smaller tooth wheel, which I will not have because I will be a single speed, decidedly, end the story. So we can close that door. Is it okay for me to drill the center all the way through so a little hole will become visible, which is finally what I want. I want the cosmetics of the drilled aesthetics, and that brings me to a hole that exits about here. It's okay there, it's okay there, it's okay here. It's questionable what happens there. The hole will be somewhere on the outside, so therefore it might not be so pretty, or it might be rather interesting. So what I've decided to do, though, as you can see when I hole punch all of this here, an issue more or less is that this sits on these two edges, and that makes it ever so much more wobbly for drilling. So I'm going to get rid of this first, at this part that sticks out. So I'm going to go down from here to there so that I get a bit of more flat surface. So that's the first job. So now, in order to find out whether it's okay to drill a hole through here, I'm just going to do it. So that's me, all the marks punched. I'm going to start the drilling now. Yep, let's do some drillings. So like this, it lays flat. I'm gonna be safe with this hole. I'm using the big machine. I'm gonna stand up so that I have control for the machine to go in straight. Oops, let me sit on drilling holes in concrete. Okay, that was easy. And that was in a good place. Okay, let's continue. I mean, these are self-guiding because, see, that's the issue here. Right. They're self-guiding because there is a hole drilled at first, and that hole clearly has a peak. So we're following that. Comes out in the middle, looks a bit unassuming for now. So let's continue. Let's have this hole. Now for the really questionable one. that looks good. Last one. Okay, so what I'm drilling here is a 2.5 millimeter hole. And the recipe here is be stable, be safe, be comfortable, have a powerful machine, use a sharp, fresh drill bit, and take it easy. Slow speed for aluminium. The downside to this machine is heavy. So if you want to drill holes with this machine all day long, it's rather hard. So as I'm interested in the cosmetic implications, I'm going to see whether I could sink that hole, you know, in a quest of saying that's the end of that hole. It's not going to go any bigger. Let's just sink it and make it pretty. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm still in the contemplation phase about these holes here. There could be potentially 1, 2, 3. And I have just, as you know, done the first one. So I'm going to beautify these very first 5 holes in order for us to look at them. So that is going in normal to the surface and not in the direction of the hole. Otherwise we are not getting a nice sink. That's almost there. A nice sink, if that's a thing. I mean, I could do that with the lighter machine. So yeah, this will work. This looks nice. It looks very unassuming. Let's see whether we have enough clearance there. We do. I'm going to be generous with the chamfer. Just a little bit more. And if something's good, then it's good. Then you leave it at it. As my mom used to say in her widest Schwabian, everything is nice for a while. So don't overdo it, that means. So I'm not going to overdo it. But now I'm going to match the size of the other side. And I think we're almost there. My mother, I miss her dearly. She just recently passed away. So sad. It's so funny, you know, like someone is there all your life for you, with you, with all her specific ways. But she was a good one. Everyone loved her. Specifically my girls loved her dearly. She was funny. My mother is the one who gave me the crafty crafts, the artistic streak. She was the artist, and she was always interested in doing things, making things, and she loved recycling. She just did not like waist. Might have to do with the fact that she was born in 1937, so that means she was born into the Second World War and into the time afterwards. That's when she was a child. That's when everything was destroyed and they had nothing. So, now let's look at this. Let's look at this. I think it's beautiful. So, that's okay. This one sinks a bit too much compared to the others, meaning I could increase the size of the other sinks. Let me have a look at this. Maybe not. Maybe I'll sleep at it. Okay, so I'm going to keep tally. I'm just I know this is 100% nerdy, but hey ho, we're doing something. Let's measure the result. It's like when you buy your first electronically defaded ETF, electronically traded fund that is managed by an index and not by some schmuck that thinks he knows everything. So we were 321 on the first measure, and now we are at 320. So that's a success, 320. So that's the first 5 holes. Okay, 1 gram. Is that meaning we're doing something? Oh yeah, that's exactly what that means. So, should I make this hole bigger? Not for the time being. I'm gonna be leaving this in pieces, and the principle is there and I can revisit. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is get rid of this useless thread in here. This is just weight. And it's the first step. So let's see, 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters. Oh, that's actually way more. I need a 7 millimeter drill, which I do not know where I would have that. That's not yet found. Do I want to drill this with 8 millimeters? No, I don't. That's just too much. So let's sink it. Let's sink it. Let's see what happens. I don't like this sound. I do not like that sound. It is rattert in German. As my friend Karl-Heinz, the engineer, would say, it's a rattert. He doesn't like it when it's rattert. Don't know how to translate that. had an idea. I mean, I could limit the depth. I will do that and then drill that first. I'm giving myself a guide for the depth by this, by just that. That's too much, and that is probably just fine. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'll drill this thread out until I'm getting to the tape. Okay, that'll make life easier for the sinker. That was easy. There is two reasons for success here. One is this Shimano aluminium material is absolutely gorgeously appointed for the job. I'm gonna measure. I don't think I did a good job in keeping this consistent. Do you understand the word gonna? I hate that. I'm going to, it's meant to be. I am going to. So the people that just freshly learned the language, plenty of Chinese, for example, they say this. Gonna. Who taught you that? It's called going to. I am going to measure. This one's deeper. This one's fine. This one's fine. This one's deeper. So let's just make them even. I don't want this even. This one's good. This one's good. So I'm going to go back to this one. And that one. These two. Get a touch more. So that'll be this tool. I'm thinking, since this worked so well, I will do this with the next size up drill. Make my sinking job even easier. Recycle that bit. So just be a bit more careful about the depth. Yeah, that is correct. So this is a 10mm drill. Let's go for it. Yeah, we're definitely on the safe side, so I will trust myself for a little bit more. About another millimeter. I'm going to stay on the safe side. Kids, do not do this at home. This is not for kids. We're talking about an old man who has experience in doing so all his life. So he's kind of done stuff ghetto style here. Plenty. Always been a careful nature. Seldomly hurt myself. But then again, I went to the hospital too before for cutting myself in the middle of the night at the end of the world. Hello, Shanghai East. Okay, let's see what the sinker will do for us. Now it's quiet, huh? More quiet. Oh no. Oh no. My part's getting hot. That's not good. So here we are for now. Oh, this is moving out of the picture. Apologize. Yeah. I mean, this is probably what I'm doing now. One of the biggest measures. Let's measure here again for weight and see what happened. 319. Wow, that's not nothing. That's just weird. Okay, I need to think for a moment. That was a bit disappointing. Wasn't it, isn't it? Didn't she? Wondering, worried about the temperature. So maybe I will start elsewhere. There's another machine. So let's do this, big holes. The furthest away. Oh, we should add a battery. That would be extremely helpful. I'm going to basically set the hole into a drilled hole at the first instance, basically meaning it's a hole. there's a divot. Well, it's the drill starting to drill until it has eaten into the metal to the full diameter of the drill bit. So this way I am not applying too much heat at one point. I'm spreading it out through the through the part, and I can then later submerge it into cold water and instantly get it to a temperature where I can continue to work. I am now managing all kinds of elements to this job that are making it hard. So one of them is my arm at its age can do only so much. My machines are getting hot, the drill bits are getting hot, the item is getting hot. So I'm trying to evenly move forward, and the next job is for me to not lose the marking tape. You know, if I submerge this into water, this will die. So I want all my markings to be absolutely clear. So that's why I'm starting to drill all the holes that I've marked, and then I can put it in the water to cool off. And then if I lose the tape, then no problem. I'm wondering whether you even see again not what I'm doing. Oh yes, you should be okay. All right, let's continue a little bit. So for those of you who are going to ask me why, only why are you doing this? I'm going to reply with the answer I had from the owner of the Boschdienst in Portland, Oregon, who had this, obviously was a Boschdienst since the 50s, when the Americans started to get into high-end European cars, and this guy was dealing in BMWs and also Volkswagens and anything that had Bosch electronics in it. So over the decades he made a collection of cars that was phenomenal, and I guess typically things that were difficult or were beyond economic repair at the time. So he started just piling them up, and he had a massively generous space right off the highway, entering Portland from the beach end, and he must have had like 100 classic beautiful cars piled up. And the one pile that caught my eye was at least like 20 of the old Bartone style BMW coupes, like starting with a 2000, 2500, all the way up to the Batmobile. And asked him whether he would sell any, and he said, "No, I will not." So I said to him, "Why do you keep them there?" And he said, "It is for pleasing my eyes." Okay, so people, that's it. I'm pleasing my eyes here. This is why I'm doing this, because it looks beautiful. Well, at least sometimes it does. Okay, let's go around this. Make sure it's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this should be 13 holes. 8. 8. 9. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ah, apologize. Only 12. Maybe better. Okay. So let's make sure I started the big one. Okay, now we do the small ones. Definitely feel like my drill bit is becoming a bit unhappy. But I have a second one prepared, so let's switch. one's moved. So correct that a little bit. This one also moved. Now, here's the thing. We're doing this by hand. And unless you want to spend another extra 100% of time to set this up normal to the drilling surface and test the positioning and do this on a vise and blah blah blah, you can get a better more perfect picture afterwards, because you know, like every single part, me drawing this, me marking the hole, me starting the pilot hole, all of this is manual. So each of those parts of the job carry a mistake, and then if you don't catch the mistake, they kind of amplify each other. So, but afterwards I will again employ a citat out of the past. I was working at a job inside Italy in the foothills at the beautiful Bertone Design Studios, and I was working with an old steel master on some kind of structure, and it wasn't quite perfect. Actually, in fact, it was about drilling weight holes, visual drill holes for something. And he basically said to me that the old Mr. Bertone taught him, it is fatto a mano, made by hand, so therefore you can see that it's not perfect, it's handmade. I mean, what I'm doing now, I'm walking the hole back to where it should be. Which at this point in time works great. It's definitely not great for your drill bit. But it's his own fault, you know. Why did it become a drill bit? Of course, this is why this is so demanding on the arm, because you just basically like controlling too much with your arm. Look at this, it's completely in the wrong place. Okay, and I guess you see what I'm doing here. I am drilling my pilot holes and massaging them into the right place, and it is time for me to take a break. So I will shut off the video, I will upload this video, and I will then continue this.